Hello! It's been a while since I made a video, so we're going to make a video and talk about the news. So, as I keep on saying, if you want to know what I'm doing, kind of, or see some funny memes, maybe, if I'm able to find funny memes, not very good with finding political memes, but you can come join me on AU79 News and Politics. And with that, let's go to the first thing that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, we'll just go to the first little thing. Okay, so Chicago politicians should quit blaming Indiana for their criminals. Yeah, yeah, quit blaming us. I live in Indiana. So it's like, why? Why are you blaming the good people of Indiana? What did Hoosiers do to you? Okay, so I think I might have read this once before. I think I did, but it was a long time ago when I read it, so I don't remember much of what was being said. But I remember I definitely had some words. So now I'm finally recording those. Either way, so Chicago politicians should quit blaming Indiana for the criminals. It's been another violent weekend in Chicago, with at least 5 people killed in less than 24 hours. Yeah, this is July 12th, too. I think it's before all the bad stuff in Portland. And then the whole no police thing. Okay, so, between Friday afternoon and Saturday morning. Unfortunately, Chicago politicians like Lori Lightfoot and Representative Mei Shang Board, I probably didn't read that right, but so be it. Continue to complain about Indiana gun laws instead of focusing on Chicago's violent criminals. Yeah, they're shifting the blame to us Hoosiers. So yeah, quit doing that. Okay. Oh, right. Instead of focusing on Chicago's violent criminals. Yeah, I read that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Earlier this week, Mayor Lightfoot called for a federal universal background check law, and she says would keep criminals from buying guns in Indiana and bringing them back to Illinois. And now Ford is demanding a database, no database, that would somehow alert Illinois police when a resident buys a gun in Indiana. Yeah, no. I do not like the idea of a database. Mostly the reason why I and probably many others do not like the idea of a database is that right now a lot of Democrat politicians have been, well, I shouldn't say right now, but for years a lot of Democrat politicians have been talking about wanting to take away your guns or limiting all your guns, a lot of things with you not having a gun. And a database would be a way for them to have easy access as far as to who has one, which I guess that's obvious. It's a database of everybody who has one. But it would also... No. But yeah, it would make it easier for them to get police to find you, to raid your home for whatever firearm you might have. And then one of the things I just thought of is that if you happen to, like what happened not too long ago, where a guy who had, we all assume is a legal firearm, he came out because somebody knocked on the door, came out with a gun, not surprised, as a lot of people have been saying. You knocked on this door late at night, he doesn't know what's going on. It makes sense that he's going to come out with a gun. So he came out with a gun, and then he was talking to the police. He was trying to put down his handgun, and the police and the officer behind him shot him in the back, and he died. And there was no reason for him to do so. but I would imagine there would be more things like that happening. Yes, that incident happened because the neighbor was mad. Yeah, because the neighbor was mad that they were being loud, and yeah. Either way, I think there would be more incidents of somebody coming out with a firearm and then the police firing upon the individual. But okay, let's go on to the statement that we find. If Illinois had a database where we knew how many guns a person went to Indiana to purchase, then we could stop the gun running that is taking place in Illinois right now, Ford said. Ford said such a database would make it easier to track down who is trafficking guns to Illinois that are used in crimes. Oh, I guess it's a guy. Okay. He said it would also deter some people from going out of state to buy guns and bring them back. There's nothing wrong with buying guns. And there's nothing wrong with coming to Indiana to buy guns either. Now, as far as guns, one thing that really needs to be said is that most guns that are used in criminal activities, that are used in crimes, they're not legal. So wherever they got it from, it wasn't legal. And as far as gun running from Indiana to Illinois, I find that hard to believe. I really do. I really find that hard to believe. I just find that hard to believe that it's a big problem or whatnot. I imagine that the guns are probably coming from other places. But yeah, okay. This is such a dumb idea. I hardly know where to start, but I'll try. Let's begin with the fact. Oh, something new. My nose always itches doing this. With the fact that according to ATF trade data, the majority of firearms traced in the state of Illinois were originally sold in Illinois, not Indiana. Yeah. It's not Indiana's fault. It's not as Hoosiers. It's your fault, Illinois. Okay. Take a look at the 2018 gun trace data from the ATF for the state of Illinois. You can download it here. We're not going to. There were this many firearms that were recovered that year, but only this many total traces were successfully I don't know that word, but I'm assuming it means connected. It turns out that many firearms, more than half of all the guns traced by the ATF were originally sold in Illinois. By comparison, there were this many firearms recovered in Illinois that were traced back to an Indiana cell. So the majority of the guns being sold, the majority of guns being used in Illinois in crimes that they have been able to find where they came from Illinois itself. There were more than 3 times as many traces on guns sold in Illinois than guns sold in Indiana. As long as Lightfoot and Ford can't even acknowledge that Indiana isn't driving Chicago violence, those suggestions on how to fix the problem can't be taken seriously. Ford is also apparently unaware that all commercial handgun purchases must go through a FFL. I don't know what FFL means, but that's a gun store, a legal gun store. If the buyer is from out of state, an Illinois resident buying a handgun and Indiana has to have it shipped to an FFL in Illinois. That law doesn't apply to rifles, but the ATF trace data for Illinois shows that fewer than 10% of the firearms that were seized and traced were rifles of any kind. Even if Ford could get his database, it wouldn't fix the violent crime in Chicago because rifles legally sold in Indiana aren't the problem. Yeah, and one of the things I heard a long time ago from Stephen Crowder was that the majority of the firearms, the guns that are used, are handguns, not scary automatic rifles or 3-round burst military style rifles. It's just simple handguns. Those are the majority of the guns used that are found at crimes. Okay. Well, right here. The problem is this: Chicago residents are illegally, yep, I was saying this earlier, are illegally attaining firearms, mostly handguns and mostly from Illinois. On the, I don't know that word, but I'm assuming it, yeah, I don't know how to say that word, but I'm assuming it means illegal. Illegal market and using them to commit violent crimes. Why are they doing it? Because they believe they can get away with their crimes, and oftentimes they do. In 2019, Chicago police made 109 arrests in the 498 homicides that took place in the city. That's a clearance rate of 22%. I think I read that C word right. Okay. And the clearance rate for shootings is even lower. In 2018, the Chicago Tribune reported that police solved just 1 out of every 20 shooting cases. Excuse me, I had to burp. Fixing Chicago's crime problem starts with ensuring that Chicago's criminals, especially the city's most violent offenders, know the consequences are swift and certain. That's it. It's that simple. Though it's not that easy. Still, if Chicago's political leaders would focus on doing that instead of trying to pin the blame on the Second Amendment, they could actually make a difference. As things stand, the laser-like focus in the wrong direction will only lead to inaction, which in turn will make things worse in neighborhoods that already feel like a war zone. Yeah, right now, Chicago is doing really. There's a lot of crime going in Chicago right at the moment, and that's really scary. I watched Tim Pool a whole bunch, and he's from Chicago. And a lot of times whenever he's reading a story of bad things happening in Chicago, he's like, it's really bad. I'm glad I left. The Chicago police are bad. Dimple has a lot to say about Chicago, so check him out. Probably does a lot better. He's a lot better at this than I am. But yeah. So okay, I guess I should do some final thoughts. I haven't done this for a while, so I kind of forgot my flow. Okay, so my final thoughts is that, as they said in the article, this is from Bearing Arms, Indiana's not the problem. Chicago itself is the problem. I don't know much about Chicago. I went there once when I was younger to see some of the museum stuff, which was pretty cool. Chicago is, I think, one of those cities that has always had a Democratic mayor. I think it's always had a Democrat mayor. Or at least I've always assumed it's it's been Democrats for a long time. But yeah, Indiana's not the problem. And as far as yeah, I don't know what they do as far as arresting people and detaining them, but with what the person's saying in the article, it sounds like they don't do a very good job of keeping these people off the streets. I don't think I can think of any more things to say. So with that, I thank you for watching, and like I've said at the beginning, if you want to see what I'm up to, then come join me at AU79 News and Politics on Facebook. And if you liked the video, then give it a like. If you didn't like the video, then give it a dislike, or whatever equivalent is. And if you really liked the video, regardless of where you found it, make sure to share it. And in the comments, tell me how to do this better. Give me some links to some news articles so I'm not just doing nothing. I'm very bad at finding news stories that I like. But yes, tell me all that stuff. And with that, I hope you have a good day. I hope you come back and watch me some more. And I bid you adieu.